You got it.
Speaking of topics, let's go on to our next one.
Okay.
Rocco.
Okay. Whew, I got a little nervous. Okay, my topic is real. All right, so I'm going to open up the floor to this one after a quick second. So let me get the nerves out. I really am nervous. I'm not going to lie.
What?
Why?
Okay, so there's been a lot of things going on in life as of late that have been really good, and we've been looking for finding a place to live, and because we have a plan right now, which is 4 years here in Georgia, and then planning on going somewhere else. We don't know exactly where that's going to be yet. We're looking all over the place, but we have some different things that we want to do after these 4 years. I'm telling you, I'm nervous. Like,
Okay.
so one thing we want to do for sure is we want to do farming, which is that's not what I'm nervous about. But we've had what I am nervous about is that we're going to open up the door to having more children, which is a huge decision. So
I thought you were done.
Been stuck on two for a really long time, and this is the first time I'm announcing this right now. So
Wow.
this is cool. But we are.
Yeah, thanks, man.
She has the I think it's called IED, right? Or something like that, which is like a copper thing to stop you from being able to have other children right now. Just put up inside yourself kind of deal. It's the same thing that Alan was talking about and stuff too as well. So we're going to be pulling that one out like next weekend to really officially start trying for real.
Oh my god.
So there's a bunch of different factors. So my mind was pretty set for a while on just having 2 kids.
Yeah.
Because of a bunch of different things, like financial reasons, like space reasons, like unsureness of what we wanted to do, kind of having a plan and different stuff. So we have a really good plan right now for 4 years and trying to figure out where we're going to go and what we're going to do. And we have a pretty good idea of different stuff. We have to go check it out first. But knowing that we want to do the farm situation and knowing that we have a really good financial situation right now happening, that we're thinking like it's absolutely a possibility. One thing she had made mention to me was when we were talking about this all, she was saying, you know, when we get older, one thing that we could possibly regret is not having enough kids. But right now we know that having more kids is never, ever something that we would regret, which is very true to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, I would hate to get to, you know, we're 60, 70 years old and been like, we should have had 4 kids or 3 kids or whatever it be, you know, and be at that stage already. Then I know that we will get to 60, 80 years old or whatever it be and have 4 kids, and we'll never be sitting there going, we shouldn't have had those other 2 kids.
And if you guys are working on a farm too, you guys
exactly,
more
that's the other thing. So the farmland also contributes. That's what I'm not even kidding.
Slaves. You're going to breed slaves.
No, farm hands. You know what I mean? Like farm hands and stuff like that. Situations.
Well, they used to do that back in the day.
But that's why I wanted to open up
They did a lot of things back in the day.
About like, what do you guys think about that stuff? You know, what do you guys think about? You know, I know Clay's got a new one right now. Steve-O's got 2 older ones. Ian, you're thinking about that stuff coming down the road.
Yeah, Clay's gonna be like, yeah, actually, guys, we're just found out Sarah's pregnant again.
Yeah.
Not for a long time.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, you know, create any only children, kind of like Clay is. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, opening up the floor, what do you guys like? Well, Clay, what is your experience right now? I mean, like, so you're sitting there with 1 right now.
Dude.
What does your mind look like when it comes to the idea of other children?
Freaking out. I don't know how you're doing it. Like, I don't know how you can even fathom 3 kids.
Yeah.
It's probably because I've just had, like, the worst, not the worst experience, but, like, the
really
most
tough
challenging experience. Yeah. Having a preemie, having a colicky baby has just been, like, insane. And it gets better and better, but, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how you're able to balance social life, your own personal stuff, work, family, marriage maintenance, all those things with kids and stuff.
I think, so I got something on that I can mention, like a piece of like, because I was at the same spot that you are right now, but I was there, you know, 5 years ago, and it was like the same exact situation. I couldn't even fathom the idea of even a second child at that point.
Right.
Like it was like so difficult, so stressful. And I just couldn't even imagine how people had more than 1 child. Knowing that I still wanted to do it, when we eventually had that second child, it was like we had the second child after ours was already like 2.5. You know, we were starting to work on our second one. and I felt a way more experienced at that time. It's like a routine-based thing. It's like once you get in the groove of it, and you're already getting in the groove in it, and the more and more and more and more you get in the groove, the easier it becomes. You know, so at first it's like high demand. Like you don't have the ability to do anything, go anywhere, do anything else besides like contribute to that baby only. But then eventually it becomes this like very easy process. And then when the second one came rolling around, it was very easy. Because it was something I was already experienced with. It wasn't new. It was like, okay, now the only new thing is time management. But like making sure.
Not to take anything away from you, but don't you also have family close by?
Oh yeah, well that is true too. Like right now,
I feel like that's a huge benefit.
That is
that
is
be
a huge
benefit. Yeah.
That's a huge benefit right now. It's having, and that's one thing we're thinking about. Like when we're thinking about those 4 kids, we're still going to be in this location where we would be able to have family to contribute for the first initial years and stuff. Which I would say that we, you know, right now, you know, I have my mother-in-law that's watching my little girl while I'm doing the podcast. Now, if she wasn't able to do that, I wouldn't be doing the podcast this morning. So it's like those are things that we factor in too, you know. And but that makes a huge difference of having that family be able to make it easier, which is why we're like, okay, having those guys around for the 4 years. For the 4 guys coming up within the 4 years, that would be ideal than being somewhere else and having those children.
But do you not have family around, Clay?
Nope.
No, he doesn't. No.
Yeah.
So you don't have a babysitter either, too, right? Yeah. So that's the thing is like that's obviously not that we utilize babysitters like crazy amount, but still like it makes a big difference whenever there's something you need to get done to be able to have somebody be able to check your.
Like I went to the movies last night, but that was a really tough decision. It was like holy crap, Sarah and I have to not only take time away from each other, I have to expect Sarah to take care of him all night, and then like Jay and Matt were like, hey, you guys want to hang out tomorrow night? And I was like, no, I mean, I can't do 2 nights in a row. Like Sarah and I need that Saturday night because Sunday we go to bed really early because we have to go to work. Like, so, like, there's nothing we can do. We can't we can't have a family come over to watch him so that we both can go out to a movie too. So like, one of us has to pick that like night. It's crazy. It's really tough to juggle.
That's what we did for a while too. We did that one where it was like, okay, we're gonna give you a little free time, give me a little free time. Like actually, just the other night she went out for a while. And I just I kept the kids to be able to let her just do her thing and enjoy herself. Yeah. But that's just the share off when it comes to that. So having 4, it obviously is gonna be a lot more. But if we were having like farmland, it also helps them be able to get out there, be responsible, and then like have something to be able to tend to, which like keeps them entertained too, which is a big deal about just being able to keep an eye on your children, having them be able to entertained to some extent, and it's hopefully not something that's going to be like the virtual pacifier.
Yeah, and I can sit there and say, you know, I came from a bigger family. You know, I have 2 sisters and a brother, so there's 4 of us kids. And later in life, it's cool. You know, it's nice to have all those siblings. You know, and you know, we all get along pretty well. You know, you have your little rifts every so often, but I enjoy being from a larger family. So I think, you know, Taylor and I have talked about kids and stuff like that. We've talked about like 2. You know, she's also mentioned before. She goes, it'd be cool to have like a big family, and you know,
I would love
but you know, it's going to be the hardest work is at the beginning. So
I would really love like 4 kids. Like a big family would be awesome.
But you need to have.
No, this is the thing too, Alan. Clay, just get through this. Like you get through this for a little while. You do this for 2 years, and the thing is not even 2 years. It depends on like what you're trying to do. But like you just get through it for a while, and I promise it gets easier and easier. Now you had a harder situation, like you said. Your baby came out earlier, on top of already having to go through all those early stages, which is difficult as it is.
Yeah.
So like now you got an extra 2 months on top of the difficult stage.
Exactly.
So it's a really long, difficult stage.
Yeah.
And once you get over that hump, things dramatically change. Unlike, and especially when the baby gets older too, the baby starts to become more like self-reliant, and when that happens, there becomes a large freedom that opens up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like they start sleeping through the night. Like I could feel it start to change.
Getting past that stage, and once that stage hits, then it's like, okay, now I could do movies easy because the baby's easier to watch, and it's not so much of like a burden to ask, you know, your wife to be able to watch the child for a few hours because the child's not a difficult thing to watch at that point. Or your child's going to bed at 7 o'clock and doesn't wake up till 7 the next morning. It's like then you got a huge window. If you want to go to the movies, you can go at 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Or play your games or do your social stuff late.
Yeah, you're totally right. And the other thing too is that by the time you have your 3rd kid, LJ is going to be almost old enough to babysit.
He's
them.
helps out a lot too, probably.
Yeah,
and that's what I was gonna say.
And Mahala's already going to be out. Mahala's already pretty self-reliant as it is, right now. She's like around the 18-month marker, and that's
cooking
like
her own toast.
So like if we were to have another baby right now, it's like she's not going to be much, responsibility. To be honest, sorry, I got pollen. We can just kind of like give her food and stuff that she eats. She's not going to be like so reliant on bottles nonstop, not diaper changes like a million times a day, not having to have eyes. Well, she will still have to have eyes tended on her a little bit because she's kind of the wild child where she'll do shit that you're like, whoa, shit.
He's like, don't do it, and then she'll be like, just drop
like
it.
those cat videos. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
It starts. Your door starts to open up, and the possibility becomes realistic. And I know that when you're in the muck of it, it feels like that's not even the case.
Yeah.
And that's the way I felt about having the 2 kids only, and not even having an open door discussion about a 3rd child, and tell her where I'm at. And like now, I'm just like, okay. Now that when Mahala was young, it was not even a question.
Are you guys factoring college education into each one of these kids,
absolutely.
or are you kind of like, look, they have to pay for half, or they'll figure it out eventually?
So we're factoring. I mean, that's one thing that I think about.
That's where
whenever
the farm comes in.
No, I mean that is a big that is a big thing too, though. Like
that's extra income. I'd imagine you're going to use.
That's
the farm.
huge income, to be honest.
Really?
Like if you have, if it's like huge income, like ridiculous income. I can't even explain it. If I can get that up and going and running correctly, which I believe that I can. With the children, college is something I absolutely think about. But with that, it's also like I'm driving so hard in life to do so many different things that I expect to have that money.
Yeah.
I have a lot of money at that college wouldn't even be a question, and I'm not going to let there be any other. Like, failure's not in my mind. Like, that's going to be a driven goal to make sure I achieve.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to be making sure that I'm having 4 children, I want to make sure that I'll be able to help them out with college too, as well, knowing how crazy expensive it is. So for me, it's like I can't sit back and wait for that money to be there. When I'm driving, I'm doing everything in my power right now in life to try to get to that point where it will be there, and it'll be huge amounts of money. And that's why I'm doing everything that I am doing. But I can't wait either, because then it's just like then it starts to close that door for me personally of like, okay, now I really feel like having that child. And like, nah, it's been 10 years deep. I finally got the money, and I know I could do the whole college thing. But it's like, well, now I don't think I want to have children anymore. So it's one of those things that you just, I don't know, you got to have faith in yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's a decision you want to make, but you have faith that you're gonna make those ends meet, knowing that there's that to think about later in the future.
Have you ever factored this to, like, you should have probably another girl, because, like, I know that having girls now, later on in life, like now that they're like 14, one's about to be 12, it gets easier, like around Christmas time, because all they want is clothes, and clothes are pretty cheap. So like now if you have boys, you have more boys, you're gonna have to buy more electronics, more video game systems.
So here's like, I'm glad that you said that. Here's what we're thinking. If we could choose, we would like to have another boy next, and then a girl after that. So boy girl kind of situation. Okay. If we could choose, that would be
so
the
you
ideal.
Can expand it out. You'd be like, okay, so this is what we have to expect.
We've even thought about all that. So like we want to jump on the gun kind of deal and try to see if we can have a child as soon as possible. And then the next one after that would be like, we want to try to space that like maybe like 18 months from the third baby.
Yeah, they want you at least
like 18 months, kind of.
Right?
Like, yeah. So like give them a little bit of space and like time, like so they're not.
What if you have twins?
Then it would be game over. Then it would be probably snip for me, because it's easier to switch that up for the guy later on. So I think we would. That wouldn't even be a bad route either. Actually, I would rather just get it done with, said and done, and then like, okay, we get through that like tough spot, but then we don't have to do the tough spot again.
Yeah, that's what I told Sarah. I almost wish Xander was twins.
Now the other thing too is, I thought about this. I think it was like yesterday or the day before when I was talking about all this with my brother-in-law, and we talked about twins. I wouldn't want identical twins. I'd want the paternal. Is it called paternal twins?
Yeah, I think so.
They look different.
Boy and girl.
Yeah, that would be cool. Boy and a girl, but they look different, you know? So it's like, because I feel like it kind of plays on your psyche being a twin that's identical. Yeah. It's like looking at yourself in a mirror sometimes, but that's not you. It's your brother or your sister. And
it's an experience I'll never have, right? Like, it's weird.
Yeah, I haven't had that experience. I would just think it plays on your psyche a little bit, but...
It's interesting. The world would be a better place with another me, I know that.
Plus, we like being parents, man. So we feel like that would be a big decision, but also it's like... It's a good thing too. Like we think like
it's just so different though. Like once they get older, man, it's like it's like you have to be their parent no matter what.
Yeah.
But you also want to be their friend too, because you kind of like feel like they have. It's almost like a sense that you want them to like you. You know they love you because you know you're their parents and everything.
You want them to still be open with you about all that's going on without feeling like it's coming too much as a parent.
It's such a crazy experience, man. Because I'm trying to think where I was at, and it's completely different with girls and everything like that. Like I'm starting to try to ask them, like, because they're like, oh yeah, like someone drew something on them. Like who drew that on you? Like, it wasn't a boy, was it? Just like that. And they're like, no, it wasn't a boy. I'm like, so you like any boys? And they're like, no, they're all gross. I'm like, good.
Lies.
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 I know they're. I know they're.
They just don't want to talk to you. Talk to them with you.
You got to find a different approach, man. You can't be so
on
the
nose.
You got to use that tricky mental shit.
Yeah.
Like,
who's your best friend? Who you guys talking
Yeah,
about?
exactly.
What's his name?
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Questions that just don't jump right in.
Just read your diary out loud to everyone.
Yeah.
Just trying to eat a Pop-Tart here.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Yeah.
David Frank.
Here's one thing right now. So one of the cities, real quick, that we've looked in a few different cities about possibilities of moving because we want to buy some farmland.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
So we want to get some good land for a decent price too. We looked at Austin, Texas. We've looked at Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's got a little high crime rate, and we looked at Bellingham, Washington.
Woo! That sounds better.
Yeah,
Washington.
I like Bellingham, Washington right now. Actually, we've all been kind of leaning towards that a little bit more, but we still would have to go visit. But it has
Washington
some.
sounds better than New Mexico and Texas.
Yeah, I like that idea.
You got the forest.
It's about an hour and a half from Vancouver and an hour and a half from Seattle.
You got seasons.
Yeah, you get really beautiful seasons.
And we were going to be doing a lot of greenhouse growing, so that's good. It's got perfect temperatures for greenhouses. Yeah. So it's like between 75 and 30s, or actually like some like
clay maybe.
Or 20s.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
You can watch they can watch yours.
And it's big farmland out there. So we saw we saw 20 acres right now for 80,000, but we want to try to see if we can find something better.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to probably do is end up buying a piece of property like something like that. We want to look between 20 and 80 acres, and then build a house on it. So we're expecting, like, if we're doing it up in the Northwest, that's like $350,000 to build the house. Yeah. But that house would be like $700,000 if we were to go like resell kind of thing.
And then I can build a house right next to you.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Eventually, we can have something just like that. I'm not kidding. When you guys talk about the business side of that, there's
I would love Washington.
To be honest, like there's a agriculture. We all eat every day, several times a day.
Isn't that where those big trees too?
For it.
Yeah, redwoods. Yeah.
The redwoods. I love.
Yeah, but some of the properties we were seeing in that area that we were looking at doesn't really have that, like, at all. It's like
but you can drive to it.
Yeah, it's right around the corner from you guys.
Fine.
Which I
some really great snowboarding right around from the corner from you
now too.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sold. Let's go.
So and I was just gonna say, at least on the children aspect, definitely having more children and being part of, 3 other siblings. Like, my best friend is my brother, David.
Yeah,
so, even he's a state away. I mean, we talk, not as often as we kind of want to, but still, like, I love visiting him and stuff like that. So it's cool to have, it's like, you guys are my buddies and everything, but it's just like a different thing. There's
absolutely
a lot of times where he pissed me off a lot. Like, and if the things that he did sometimes, you'd be like, I never want to talk to that friend again. Like, you disown him, but and nothing to that extent really.
David Fry.
I'm just saying, like, it's just a different kind of love and best friend. It's just a weird thing. So, well,
look, it makes a lot of sense that you'd say that, considering the fact that he went on a Patreon, dropped some bucks on, and became a Maelstrom gamer and supports you, his brother. Thank you, David Fry. Thank you for bringing this topic to us and the audience watching at home.
So I guess that's our public announcement.
Oh.